Welcome back, Gypsy Brown in the building. All right, here today, representing my LA hat. LA hat today. All right, LA. Speaking of LA, let's jump right into it. Okay, for those that are new to the channel, I talk about everything. I talk about predominantly sports, but I talk about everything. I'll throw some politics in there if need be, but I talk about everything. So again, drop a like, subscribe, drop a dislike. But if you drop a dislike or a like, tell me why you dislike the channel or like the channel. I'm trying to get better at this, so I need the constructive criticism, all right? So, LA topic. Nipsey Hussle from LA, Crenshaw, rolling 60s, gang member, wasn't afraid to tell his story. You know what I'm saying? Some people are forced into that particular avenue of life, but realized, hey, I need to do better. I need to do better by my community, do better by everybody. So Nipsey Hussle, it was brought out that he was under investigation before his death. My thing is, leave Nipsey alone. Nipsey's gone. He's dead now. Why would you bring this up that he's under investigation or he was under investigation? The man is gone. He was doing great things in his community. Wanted to buy a building to start owning apartments. He was his store, the Marathon. He was hiring, guys that were just getting out of jail, taking care of his friends. So the guy was doing great things for his community and his family. So this just plays more into the narrative of, what a lot of black people believe. For those that don't know, we do have stereotypes that we believe that, and one of them is that, when a black man is doing well, there's always things that, people try to find out to tear him down, and you look at Martin Luther King. Okay, Martin Luther King was assassinated. After his assassination, things start coming out that he was a womanizer. The man is gone. He can't even defend that, can't even say anything about that, if it's true or not. So why even talk about that? Malcolm X, same thing, tried to tear him down, couldn't find nothing on X, so for me, my whole thing, leave Nipsey alone. Gypsy Brown, that's me. Gypsy rocks with Nipsey. You understand what I'm saying? So the marathon continues. Leave dude alone. All right. So that's that. I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. Roger Federer voted the greatest tennis player of all time, male tennis player of all time. He's won 20 Grand Slam singles titles. Salute to Roger Federer. I grew up watching. I've been watching him lately since he's been playing. He's 37 years old now. He had a classic matchup, Wimbledon final against Djokovic. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But I grew up on John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors, Yvonne Lendl, those guys. And those guys were great. John McEnroe was great. He was the hothead that would break a racket, yell at the referee, all that stuff. But salute to Roger Federer, for being voted the greatest male tennis player of all time. That's a tough feat to achieve. Okay, funny stuff. All right, I guess you could say Shaquille O'Neal says he would kiss anyone's feet that that came close to doing what Phil Jackson did, which was get to the NBA Finals 4 out of their first 5 years of coaching. Okay, so Steve Kerr has gotten that feat, and Steve Kerr says, "Nah, I'll pass, big fella. You don't have to kiss my feet." I don't blame him though. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want Shaquille O'Neal or anybody kissing my feet. I'm ticklish, so leave my feet alone. All right. So that's pretty funny. But in my opinion, Larry Brown to me was the greatest coach of all time. It's not about titles. I think people put too much on titles. Yeah, Phil won 11. Red Auerbach won 10. I didn't really get to see much of Red Auerbach's coaching. I was a kid. I do remember those Boston Celtic teams, but I might not have even been a kid. He might have been the GM when I was a kid. But he might have been able to put the Boston teams together. But as far as coaching-wise, coaching in my time, Larry Brown, to me, is the best coach because he did more with less. It ain't always about titles, in my opinion. They say, greatest player of all time, Bill Russell, 11 titles. No, 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 no. In my opinion, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest of all time. I won't argue with people that say Jordan, but I say Kareem. You know what I'm saying? But it's not always just about titles as far as, being the greatest of all time in your sport or whatever. It's not always about titles, in my opinion. Moving on. Golden Tate says Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback that he ever played with. You know what I'm saying? My question is, what about the timing of this, man? You about to play, you about to go to another team. You about to play with Eli. I mean, you want the ball, right? So why even bring this up now? You know what I'm saying? Don't even bring greatest quarter. Avoid that question if you can, Golden Tate. But you did. So he's played with Matthew Stafford, of course, Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, Matt Hasselbeck, Nick Foles. And now he's going to be playing probably with Eli Manning. So he says that Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback he ever played with. Okay, cool. Even though, like I said, you can't put titles on everything. Russell Wilson is the only Super Bowl winning quarterback that he's played with. Carson Wentz won the Super Bowl, and Nick Foles won it too as well. I'm sorry. Nick Foles also won the Super Bowl. But I don't know. I don't know about the timing of this, bringing that out right now. And I can't say, he knows, like if somebody asked me who was the best point guard that I ever played with, I'd have to think about that for a second. Who was the best center I ever played with? Of course, it would be Akeem Olajuwon. Nobody would argue that. But Brad Daugherty was a great center. David Robinson was a great center. You know what I'm saying? So that's really a tough question, but I can't question his who he said. I can't question who he said. I just question the timing of it. Is the timing right with the season about to start? Some of these athletes are pretty sensitive. They might say, "Well, this dude said that so and so is the best quarterback you ever played with. I'm not gonna pass the ball." You don't know. You never know. You never know. So I'm just talking now. But anyway, all right. Next thing, NFLPA files a grievance for Jadeveon Clowney against the Texans. Okay. He got franchise tagged. Okay. This is kind of tricky. Okay. He's a linebacker / defensive end. So the Texans want to classify him as a linebacker. If they classify him as a linebacker, he will get $15.4 million with the franchise tag. Okay, if he's classified as a defensive end, he gets $17.1 million. So there's a 1.678 million, 1.8 million difference, something like that, close to that difference in the pay. So Jadeveon Clowney wants to be classified as a defensive end, but he plays both positions. Okay, that's kind of tricky, but Clowney wants a long-term deal. He wants a long-term deal. Okay, I'm of course with Clowney. Now you want to add 2 more games to the schedule, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to classify me as what I want to be classified as. I mean, it's getting real petty here. You know what I'm saying? That's real petty, for the Texans to not go ahead and get a man what he wants. He's been giving you good years. I think the first year he was injured a lot his first year, but after his first year, I think he played 15 games. He missed 1 game last year. He had like 7 or 8 sacks, 20 QB pressures, so he's been balling out and deserving of getting the contract that he asked for. So let's try to work it out, get this long-term deal and keep the guy happy. Already the NFL, just figure out what you want to give him for the signing bonus, that'll make him happy, because in the NFL, like I talked about before, their contracts are not guaranteed. You get you'll see if you sign a $50 million contract, you get a $20 million signing bonus. Then you got to play for the other $30 million. So just do that with him. Try to do something to give him some money up front. So he's giving you good years and he's repped, pretty good. Jadeveon Clowney is a force out there on the field. So, do the right thing and take care of the guy. All right, now, more funny news to me. Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta, I hope I pronounced that right, Fertitta, fined $25,000 for a tweet about Westbrook by the NBA. I guess announcing the trade before it is officially announced. So he got fined $25,000. Okay. Now, it's funny because he's worth $5.2 billion. So do you really think that $25,000 is gonna hurt this guy? This guy don't look, he probably blow his nose with $25,000, to be honest with you. So that's funny to me. And also, Mark Cuban fined $50,000 for leaking info from a governor, from a board of governors meeting. $50,000. Okay, now Cuban is worth $4.1 billion. $50,000. These dudes laugh. They gonna laugh at that. But he was fined $50,000 for leaking info. And Vivek Ranatovic, Sacramento Kings owner. I can't pronounce his name. Sacramento Kings owner is the one that alerted the NBA to Cuban leaking some stuff from the Board of Governors meeting. So, these guys, come on. If you're going to find somebody, make it worth your while. I'll give you a perfect example. Okay, when I first came in the NBA, technical fouls were like $100. So guys got them all the time. $100, that's pit. Take that how you want it. One of my favorite quotes is from Derek Coleman. I remember when he got fined one time. We were playing together in New Jersey, and they said they were gonna fine DC. So DC was like, "Hey, how you want it? You want it in quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies? How you want it?" So $100 fine was nothing. So finding these guys that little bit of money, I don't think will deter them from doing it again. I don't think it will deter other owners from doing, the same thing. So I think if you're going to fine owners, that you have to make it so. Yeah, the punishment has to be so that you don't want to do it. You look at the NBA now. Technical fouls now. They got a count on them now. So guys, some guys still push that limit, but when they get to that limit, they chill, because they don't want the punishment of missing a game, or, they can still, they're making a lot of money now, so they can still pay those regular technical fouls. But you have to make that punishment, severe enough to where they won't do it again. All right. Last but not least, Madden ratings. NFL players are upset about their Madden ratings. Keenan Allen from the San Diego Chargers plans to boycott Madden because of his rating. Tom Brady also upset about his rating. So they say he was trolling EA Sports on Twitter, which is hilarious to me. I can remember being on the video game. I'm on NBA 2K now. So I don't like my rating, what I'm saying? But it's okay. I'm happy to be on the game. But I'm not a football player. My rating is like in the 70s. I thought I would be about a 75, 77. They got me as a rebounder and didn't have my shooting up to par. I'm a much better shooter than they gave me. But I just think it's hilarious. But EA better take note that these NFL players are paying attention to their ratings. So take care of these guys. But, that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said, drop a like, a dislike. Rep LA today, the LA Dodgers. My man Nipsey Hussle. Gypsy rocking with the Nipsey. Or Nipsey rocking with the Gypsy, or the Gypsy rocking with Nipsey, however you want to say it. You know what I'm saying? So have a great time. Enjoy your day. Remember, be nice to people. And, just take care of yourself. All right? Peace.